ladies, welcome back to another episode on the Ruby Pink Mindset channel. And today we're going to do a deep dive that is going to make you being a polished woman, being an attractive woman, just being overall well put together, very easy. And this is no gimmicks. This is just straightforward. This is what has worked in my life. And this is going to take the pressure off of the rubies trying to figure out where to find that balance in their life to just show up in the world as a really well put together woman. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the Ruby Pink Mindset channel, where the rubies get all of the information they need to strategically become the women on their vision boards. We do this through the awareness of this channel, biblical truths where they fit because the word cannot come back void. And then Coach Ruby gives you two master vaults. One is the Ruby Pink, which is the red lip master vault, inspired by the Ruby Pink Mindset channel. And then also we have the Pink Collar Master Vault, which is inspired by the Pink Collar Mindset channel for the rubies and the girlies that are working on their 9 to 5, but they feel stuck. They feel like they need to pivot, and you're wondering how to do that. You're wondering how to build wealth. You're wondering how to maximize your options on your job and get yourself options so you don't feel stuck anymore. And those vaults are located in the episode description. Now, rubies, you don't need more makeup. You don't need better genetics, like people might say. You don't need discipline that is going to be like disguised as softness when you actually hate it, right? You need to think from a perspective of not that I'm trying to be pretty, but I want to be polished and well put together. And one of the first courses that inspired this topic in the Red Lip Master Vault was the Well-Kept Woman course. It goes through about 30 days with you. Every day you have something to do. And by the end of that 30 days, when you do that course in the vault, you have a better aesthetic appearance. You have a better mindset towards being put together, and you actually enjoy just being that woman that is put together, and your life becomes easier too. And that's, like I said, in the Red Lip Master Vault. Now, when you are a polished woman, it is not about doing more. It's really about doing the same things, but better and consistently. And I learned that. It isn't about being overwhelmed and buying every makeup that comes out. It's about sticking to a makeup routine, a brand, a product that works for you, and not switching it up because something new comes out. You don't switch unless it's truly better. All right. I am an OG MAC girly, meaning that I don't care how many red lips come out in different brands. I stick to MAC lipsticks, period. I don't care how many lipsticks come out in or lip glosses come out in other brands. My go-to lip gloss will always be the MAC Glass lip gloss. Always. I don't switch it up. The same thing with my nude lips. If it's something like a NYX, I don't care how many nude lips comes out, I'm going to stick to NYX. Okay? And this is the secret what most well-kept women and even wealthy women would tell you. They do what works for them. They don't jump on every trend. Like I said, it's about doing the same things, rubies, but then you're doing it better and consistently. Now, there's a foundation or basically a step-by-step code when it comes to being a polished woman, which ultimately will make you more attractive. I'm going to do a deep dive episode on this particular topic in the subscriber side, which is going to be on this channel. So the subscribers are going to get a deep dive video where we break down from makeup, hair, fragrances, like everything. I'm going to do a deep dive, but that's not going to be on this side of the platform. It's going to be on the other side for the diamonds and the rubies, right? On the paid subscribers channel. Now, you have to look at it when you're being a polished woman as that you're maintaining in order to transform, right? So polished women are not constantly glowing up, right? They don't constantly glow up. They actually are maintaining a standard. Inside of the Well-Kept Woman course, and you're going to have me refer back to this because like I said, the deep dive framework in the Red Lip Vault was built on this particular course called the Well-Kept Woman course, right? I make you find yourself a new bare minimum. And I know it's literally a whole module in the Well-Kept Woman course that says your new bare minimum. If you want to check it out, like I said, it's in the Red Lip Vault. Your new bare minimum. You also learn about standards and learn about maintaining in the 90s fine standard course that's also in the red lip vault. Now, polished woman rubies, they are not constantly glowing up. They are always maintaining a standard. So what is your standard? So that means that they understand that, okay, I need to get my hair trimmed, my ends trimmed before my hair is damaged. Or they realize that I need to fix small things before they become big distractions. One of the framework for a well-kept woman or a polished woman, like you would say, is that they're always prepared. They don't have to get ready because they stay ready. So your upkeep rubies is cheaper than reinvention. Could you imagine? And I remember that, like, I really thought about this when it came to me with my makeup, right? Rather than re-upping on my makeup when one product ran out, I made the mistake and I waited till everything ran out. And I felt like I paid so much more to get my makeup like back on track with the products that I needed because the other ones were almost out or completely out, right? So like I said, upkeep is cheaper than reinvention. And it's better because it actually is cheaper in your money. It's cheaper when it comes to your time. And it's even cheaper when it comes to your reputation because your reputation isn't on the line because people see you as a woman that is consistent. All right. The next framework for a polished woman is understanding that consistency will create your identity. Rather than chasing the end goal of your identity, focus on the things that you do daily and you will have the end goal. So that means that you need to be consistent with certain things that creates your overall presentation. So if you said, okay, I want this particular aesthetic or look, the daily things that you do with like your nails, right? Always have the same nail length. So for Coach Ruby, there's a go-to nail length for me. I don't go outside of that because even if I do it like impulsively, I'm going to go back to what I said is my new standard, right? So Coach Ruby does that even with the color shades that she wears as a gel polish. So think about consistency around creating your identity, about doing the same thing in your beauty routine that is the same every single day, right? Only on like special occasions, like probably like a birthday or like Christmas time, you want to try something new. Understandable, right? But consistency is going to create your identity of being polished. So like I said, the same nail length, the same hair energy, hair that actually matches you. You understand? The same overall energy that you give off, the same way that you present yourself. And the reason that you do this is because familiarity, rubies, is going to build your presence. People would then start to associate you with that particular brand look because you're doing it every day. People do not trust rubies. What always is changing. If you keep changing, people is not going to trust it. They're not going to trust it. So when you want to be a polished woman, and this is what polished women do differently, is that they recognize that their power is really in being recognizable, but not unpredictable, right? Not unpredictable in a way that they're a book, they're like a tell-all book. No, is that they know that the way that they present themselves, because they do it consistently, people would then not only treat them the way that they treat themselves, but people would expect an expectation and a standard from them. Now, the next thing that you really need to understand about what polished women do differently is that rubies, they focus on edges. I know you're trying to say, what do I mean? I'm going to tell you what they focus on. When I say edges, they focus on things that have to have a structural sharpness about it being consistent. And let me tell you, like, I trying to break this down in the most simplest way that I can. Let's think about eyebrows. When your eyebrows are not groomed, it takes away from the overall beauty of your face, right? If they're all over the place. Look at a person or look at a photo where your eyebrows were groomed and structured, and then look at a photo when they were not. It took away the beauty or the symmetry from your face. So what I notice is that polished women, they like to groom their eyebrows. They focus on their posture, like how they stand up, how they walk, how they talk. They focus on like nails. and they focus on their lips a lot, like whether it's being hydrated, whether it's a particular gloss or a particular lip color. And you learn about this formula about focusing on the edges in the 90s Fine Standard course in the Red Lip Vault, right? Coach Ruby gets you deeply in it for you to understand this better. They focus on how their hair is presented. When I speak about hair, is like, how does the hair frame their faces, right? How does even like when they pull their hair back, which style is better? Is it better with a low ponytail or a mid ponytail or a ponytail, right? So polished women focus on the edges because they realize it is the details. It's all about the little details. Because when you focus on those things, it makes you feel like you have control and power. That's why when a woman has a sleek hairstyle, a sleek bun, something straight, something out of the face, they seem very dominant. They seem very powerful. And like I said, Rubies, it's not about just being pretty. Polish and pretty is two different things, because you could be pretty and unkept. I'm telling you, you could be pretty and still look messy, still look over dramatic. But you can be polished and then people automatically say that you're pretty because you're polished, right? That's why the basics of beauty is really focused on hygiene and the things that is boring. Okay? Now, clean edges, like I said, Ruby, it will communicate like you have a discipline about yourself without saying a word. Powerful. That's why when you go into luxury stores, right, and you have a luxury buying experience for a luxury item, everybody looks like they know what they're talking about. Whether you go in Louis Vuitton, Dior, Hermes, wherever you go, right? The representative or the sales representative, they look very clean, they look very sharp, they all look alike. There's no distraction. They look like they know what they're talking about and you trust them. And that's what being polished is really about. Now, one of the things that I noticed that polished women also do, Ruby, is that they edit, but they don't add. And let me tell you what I mean by this, right? If something feels off or is not working, they don't add more. Example, gaining weight. They will not go to the extreme to alter things that they know needs to be fixed internally. Like I said, gaining weight. They're not going to buy bigger size clothing. They're not going to go and get where you call it, like where you remove like fat out of your face. They don't do those extremes. They edit, they don't add more. So what they do to look polished is that you remove. Polished women look very natural. Free game. This is free game, Rubies. They look closest to their natural state, that even when they're not enhanced, their beauty is still undeniable. So they don't wear the heavy makeup to cover up bad acne. They get their skin under control. So they understand the simpler, the better. And believe it or not, Rubies, restraint really is refinement. We respect those that are restrained. We respect those that have control. Chaos is really loud. The dramatics of the very long lashes, the dramatics of the very loud makeup, the loud eyeshadows, right? The colorful wigs. What polished woman realizes that less is better. And people trust you more. All right? Ruby, is the fifth thing that polished women do very, 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 very differently is that they move calmly. Being calm, I might tell you this is your superpower. They are very intentional. They understand proximity. They understand that movement is a part of beauty. Have you ever watched the trees dance? Have you ever watched the waves move? There's a beauty in it. Butterflies flying, birds moving their wings, hummingbirds moving very quickly, listening to nature. There's a beauty in movement. And what polished women do is that they understand posture, walking, and movement. And what I would urge you, Rubies, to do, if you feel that you don't have a very good presence about yourself when it comes to your movement, they do have classes that teach you that. Classes that teach you how to pose, classes that teach you how to walk. If you're really serious about really investing in yourself, do those things to really connect with who you are as a feminine woman. Okay? Remember that movement, there's beauty inside of movement. And another thing that makes polished women so differently is that they simplify things. You are looking for this grand thing, Rubies, where you're looking for a new formula. You're looking for something that's an aha moment. It doesn't exist, right? Coach Ruby is not going to tell you that there's some secret to being well put together. It isn't. It's getting back to the tradition. Before all of the influencing, the halls of buying everything to make you feel better, go back to the basics. When Coach Ruby went back to the basics, I never felt more at peace in my appearance because I don't feel like I'm chaotic and all over the place. So what you do when you simplify things is that when you're more simplified, you're more put together. And consistency really matters more than the intensity of how you're presenting yourself. And then the next thing, rubies, which what polished woman does very differently, and I've learned this as I was building the well-kept woman course in the Red Lip Vault, and also the 90s Fine master course in the Red Lip Vault. When I was building this, one of the things that polished women have mastered in like really, really good is that they protect their signature. They protect their signature. You know what I mean by this? They know what works for them and they stick to it. You cannot, like I said, you can't convince me to change a product because something new come out. You can't convince me to change my body wash, a perfume that works for me, a lip that works for me, a product that works for me, a bag that works for me because something new comes out. Save it. Keep it. So polished woman, the reason that they're polished is because they know what works for them and they stick to it. They don't chase every trend. They know the colors that work for them and they stick to it. Because they realize something, trends do change. Identity does not. And if you really want to be a polished woman, boobies, don't follow trends. Do not follow trends. Filter what works for you. And just remember this as well. A lot of people think that being polished, rubies, means that you have to be perfect. That is not true. Being polished is about predictability. It's about care, like really deeply caring for yourself. And it's really about the emotional control that you have to express yourself visually. That's what being polished is about. And when people experience that consistency, rubies, they will start to say you are a confident woman. The woman who is confident is the unchanging woman. Why do you feel people really gravitate towards Rihanna? You know why? Because she does what works for her. She doesn't, even though she's fashionable, she didn't went on a trend of body enhancements and all of those stuff. So she's celebrated for that. She's celebrated because a woman that's polished, people automatically assume you're authentic. And you don't need another new version of yourself every single month, every time something comes out, every time there's a new drop. No. You need a standard. You need a new bare minimum. You need to know what works for you. And you need the discipline to maintain it. That's what polished women do differently. And if you take this advice, your life will be more polished. Just try it. If you're doing the Well-Kept Woman course, day by day, I teach you how to do this. If you're doing the 90s Fine master course in the Red Lip Vault, you also learn how to do this because it's not about being trendy. The 90s were about women finding things that worked for them and they stick to it. Everybody had a different style, but it was uniquely fit for them. We had pixie cuts, we had blonde hair, we had dark hair, we had straight hair, you had curly hair. It wasn't about everybody enhancing to look the same. Being polished is about finding what works for you. And if you want to really start that system and you want to know how to do that, check out the Red Lip Master Vault that's located inside of the episode description. And Coach Ruby will see you next time. Bye.